In February of 2017, Humble Bundle released a pack of what would become 61 games for $30. Some of these games I've had a prior interest in, most, none at all, but all the money was going to this charity that knew it was up, so I bid. I clicked 3 buttons, felt good about it. Until I thought, weird, I have all these games that I'll never even give a go. And then I didn't feel so good about it. So here I am, going through each game that I got in that pack for 30 minutes each, and either praising it for its first initial hook, or damning it to an early uninstall, leaving any mysteries that may have been buried deeper into that game lost forever. Some of these games I've played, some I've heard of, some I won't even know what genre the stupid thing is until I'm in it. The thing is that no matter how much I'm hating on any one of these poor games, and I am kind of picky, so it'll probably happen a lot, it's still super cool that these developers got in on it with Dudes at Humble Bundle, and that there's like this baseline respect that I have for each and every one of them. We're not grading on a curve though, so... Number 1. 2064 Read-Only Memories.
Neo San Francisco, 2064 AD. The world thrives on a constant flow of groundbreaking technology. Cybernetic augmentation and genetic modification allow the repair and enhancement of almost any part of a human body.
What a rough first half hour to kick this off with, my god. Alright, 2064, it's a point-and-click adventure throwback about robots in our society, and it's exactly what you'd picture after hearing that. Lo-fi, late 80s, Maniac Mansion, I guess, era style, doesn't let 2 lines of dialogue go by without either winking at the player with a sci-fi reference or retreading on the whole what separates man and machine trope. If this came out in the period it's aping, then maybe that'd be like fresh. People would still be all jazzed on Blade Runner or whatever and want some more of that, but now that we got ourselves things like Black Mirror and that Ex Machina movie and even friggin' Chappie, even I guess Avengers actually, the second Avengers movie, and also we have another Blade Runner coming out soon with Ryan Gosling, and then the Ghost in the Shell movie coming out. That's a lot of robots that we're being asked to feel for. The thing is though, it's like an interesting enough idea on its own. Trying to get the audience or the player here to view a robot character as human, that's cool, that's interesting, but wow, we watched RoboChild Haley Joel Osment back in AI get ditched by his mommy.
I'm sorry, I'm not real. If you let me, I'll be so real for you.
That played the card so hard that now everything else is kind of, I don't know, pales in comparison to that. Kind of need to have other ideas going on to make this interesting nowadays. Like in Talos Principle there, that puzzle game, that had a lot of other things working with it beyond just, I'm a robot, I can still feel. See, in this game, a robot boy, he comes into your room while you're sleeping and he asks you for help, and it looks like, from this first little beginning that I played, that he's going to be the catalyst for the story, your main companion, and who you'll have to eventually save from the antagonist later on. You'll have to learn to love him and view him as more than his robotic parts, and eventually, when he gets hacked or dismantled or has to sacrifice himself for you, the tears need to flow. All of these stories try this, and it's not going to work here when he sounds like Anakin Skywalker from Phantom Menace.
Before we go any further, I feel I need to clear the air between us.
Qui-Gon, sir. I don't want to be a problem.
And has this little bashful, stupid smirk that just makes my skin crawl every time I see it. The game plays so heavily into that big question of what separates man from machine right when you meet the robot child, that it just makes him seem like this forced story piece and not like an actual character on his own. If it started off with you just like hanging out with him and getting to know him. Liking this thing is a big enough ask. Please do us some favors and give us a little scenario or two that will help make us care for him. He's a little blank-faced poor man's Eva, and instead of just telling us that we're really not so different over and over again, have us care for him. Try to, at least. Please. I guess the thing is, this is a point-and-click adventure game, and I kind of now realize that I don't care about these games. I've never played any of those hits growing up, the Monkey Islands that were all the rage, and I loved that Longest Journey when I was like 14 or 15, and I guess I played a lot of the recent Telltale games, but I'm not swooning with nostalgia at this blocky little font and the little window that the actual game is happening in. To me, it's just a worn out premise, an uninspired take on this genre, has pretty sweet music, but a douchebag little robot kid.